Welcome to the show. As always, you know what the drill is. Let's start by looking at the latest in the coronavirus. Start by looking at the statistics. As of yesterday, no new travel-related cases, person-to-person, close contact, no new cases, community transmission, no new cases, 203 under investigation, 65 total, 188 total person to contact, community transmission, almost 3,400, total 203 under investigation. That's a total of 396 cases. We're getting closer to 4,000. No new possible case of surveillance. Three new cases, 14. New tests. No new tests happening for the Oasis County Public Health District. Hospitals clinics at 294. Total tests 294. 12,597. 21,728. Hospitalized number 307. Currently hospital 240. ICU, those in hospital 8. 431 recovered. Testing totals, close to 5,200. Average daily test, 786. Positive cases, 1881. And as always, I tell you this all the damn time. You need to wear a mask. It is going to protect you from the virus by 80%. It's not hard. I'm going to show you right now. Like this, to where the nose ends and your mouth is. Like this. If your glasses start to fog up, don't worry about it. Just get yourself a paper towel or just wait a few seconds for it to stop fogging. What's so hard about wearing a mask? And we're just 4 days away from Judge Barbara Canales' and just Friday. Just Friday before the 4th of July, Judge Barbara Canales issued an amended order for everyone Sure. Okay, so again, wear masks. Not under the nose, over the nose. And if you're going out somewhere, wear a mask and have hand sanitizer by your side and make sure all your area surfaces are wiped. Now public pools are saying that, now public pools are doing the same thing. If you're going to go in a public pool, you got to wear a mask when you're getting your temperature checked. That is what Parker Pool's doing. We might do that tomorrow for a special edition to give me a break. I'm not sure, but if I can find someone, then we can do it. But right now, nothing's happening. All right, is it a good time to go back to the Back to School series now that is it a great, now the question is it a great time to go back to our Back to School series when public school can be open during the virus? Absolutely. And as always, I want to get to what everybody's talking about, truancy. I mean, for here in the state of Texas, if you don't want to go to, I mean, this is an example. This was back 2 years ago. Students don't want to go to class. You could treat your classroom for a courtroom. Here's trial 6.
And there was a different sort of court case being heard in Justice of the Peace Joe Benavidez' court today. It's his day to hear truancy cases, and unfortunately, they're on the rise. So why are so many children skipping school? Chris 6 News reporter Sylvia Martinez shows us what the judge has to say.
If your child logs 10 unexcused absences, this is where you could wind up, in Judge Joe Benavidez' truancy court. This morning, his cases included a second grader and a kindergartner, who had each missed more than 15 days of school. One parent said their child was being bullied. The other blamed illness.
Nope.
The judge didn't buy either excuse. According to to court records, Judge Benavides and another court today were scheduled to hear 79 truancy cases. There are countless excuses for parents, but the only thing that concerns Judge Benavides is what can happen to kids who constantly miss school.
A lot of the young kids that do get in trouble with higher crime are ones that aren't going to school.
These are all of the cases the truancy court will hear just this afternoon. The average elementary student they see has missed about 25 to 30 days of school. The average middle school student or high school student has missed about 100 class periods.
On a monthly basis, the number of parents and students who come into Judge Benavides' court climbs into the hundreds.
Parents not being accountable to their kids for many reasons, and a lot of children aren't going to school.
One message the judge has for parents: learn to identify warning signs he calls red flags.
The red flags when kids aren't going to school, you're looking at drugs, bullying, peer pressure. So there's a lot of red flags out there.
Sylvia Martinez, Chris 6 News.
Parenting classes aren't the only punishment that courts can hand down. Parents of truant kids can also be ordered to pay fines and court fees.
Absolutely. So what can you, so again, you need to understand your child has to go to school. For the parents that have been watching, again, your child has to go to school, no matter what. If your child's being bullied, that you need to, if your child comes to you and says, "Mom, I'm being bullied," have him go to the principal. If you're being listen, if you're being bullied, what you need to do is go to your principal, go to your parent and say, "Hey, someone is bullying me and I don't like it." He would be absolutely right. They will help you. There's counselors out there, there's principals, superintendents. They will help you out. And if you don't want that help, it's your choice. But if you choose not to go to school for like several days, it's your choice. And if you choose that, you're going to be ending up going to court and you'll be facing the judge. And when the judge asks you why you skip school every day, you say it's because of bullying. They're not going to hurt you. Truancy court is to help you out to make sure that you stay in school. And they have programs to help you out. There is no point about all this. Another one, again, this is a follow-up.
Truancy. It's a growing problem here in Nueces County.
And as the caseload
Absolutely.
for truant teens continues to grow, one local judge is trying to help those teens and lighten the docket by offering truancy night court. Chris 6 News anchor Priscilla Torres was in the courtroom today. Priscilla, tell us more about how this night court is going to work.
Well, Steph, it's exactly that. Court offered in the evening so that parents and their teens can attend. The judge says he's noticed a problem with not only students not showing up to school, but parents unable to show up to court because of work. And truancy night court is his way to fix that. A full courtroom and waiting area as parents and their teen listen for their names to be called by Judge Joe Benavides.
16 years old. Today she has 324, actually 358 unexcused class periods.
Teen after teen, ranging in ages from 14 to 17 years old, Judge Benavides heard each case, asking the teen why they've been missing so much school.
Who takes you to school?
My dad and my stepmom and my mom.
So why are you already talking about this?
I just don't like to go to school.
He also asked the parents what they're doing to get their kids back on track.
Dad, got anything to say?
Good, and we tried talking to her, we done so much, we just think things to do this without her.
Judge Benavides says he's found truancy issues stem from being bullied in school, drugs, peer pressure, and gang-related activities. And tonight, by speaking to the parents and their teen, he hopes to have the teen return to school, get their GED, or graduate.
So you come back and you look at it again, so I'll reconsider everything else, you understand? But you got the ball in the nose, understand? The board.
The next night court session will be held Tuesday, May the 22nd. It begins at 5 p.m. So,
And hopefully that works. Thank you, Priscilla.
Again, what you need to do as parents is talk to your child. I mean, if you can't get into school, that's their choice. I mean, if your child is not going to school, tell them to deal with it. You have to go to school. If you miss a lot of absences, then this is what happens. You will be in trouble, and the judge will order you to stay in school. If you're, the only time you cannot go to school is if you're sick. If you are sick, if you're sick, then you can't go to school. And the question is for all, should parents be criminalized with kids' truancy?
So get this, every 1.07 seconds...
My answer is absolutely and absolutely not. And I'll explain later. And we'll look at that when we return. Welcome back. So far we've heard from Ms. Judge Joe Benavides, who had a night court 2 years ago. During that time, the teens and the parents were sitting in. And what is the court order for all this? The court order states that your child has to stay in school. We'll look at an example in Williamson County, Texas later. Right now, the question is, should parents be criminalized for kids' truancy? Absolutely and absolutely not, for 2 reasons. My part is for yes, because it's to teach the parent that if your child's not going to school, then this is the consequence. I mean, like spending in jail, I mean, absolutely. Hear what the experts have to say. Take a look.
Kids ditching school, it's nothing new. But now parents are being called out and getting locked up. It's already happening in Indiana, where 3 parents were slapped with felony charges after their kids skipped school. If prosecuted, the parents, not their children, could face the consequences up to 30 months in jail. With more and more states targeting parents with absentee kids, could you be next?
Well, should parents be held responsible if their child plays hooky? We asked family and child development expert Dr. Gail Gross to join in on the discussion. Should parents ever be responsible if their child plays hooky?
Well, you know, there's a difference between being responsible and putting somebody in jail and making truancy criminal. When a child commits truancy, you know that something else is going on. It's a symptom of something else going on. So the majority of people, kids that commit truancy, are being bullied at school, and they are staying away from school because they're being bullied. So, you know, parents are important to children. If we make your mother a jailbird, what is that saying to the child?
So a lot of potential problems with this, clearly. Now, and also there's the other angle, which is a dysfunctional family, and all of a sudden the child's, ooh, I can skip school and get mom and dad in jail. You know, there's just a lot of potential issues here. Good point. Think about that. You know, and there would be situations where that would occur.
I'm probably going to get in trouble for this, but I just got an email from my son's school. Yes, it's true, that he has to serve a detention because, and I said, what is this? He's a senior in high school, and he said, oh, Mom, I was 10 minutes late for school, and I didn't sign in late. So they send an email.
They know.
10 minutes late.
Hands behind your back.
No. In that case, to get to detention is good punishment.
We'll see how a month in jail.
For being late.
It's just one more example of the system hindering people more than helping.
Yeah.
And why do we not put the onus on the school, the educators, give them the resources that they need?
Well, I think it has to be shared, right? And I personally, I mean, everyone has an opinion on this, and everyone's entitled to their opinion, especially as a parent, because that's kind of the sacred territory, right? You know, I think that we should cut every parent some slack to have their opinion about how they want to raise their child. But I really believe that time is basically shared 50-50. 50% of the child or teenager's daytime hours are spent in school, 50% are spent under the family auspices. And so I yield to the educators as experts to do their part, and then I don't want them stepping into my lane to tell me how to do my part. So I think it's really a two-way
But you're also in a situation where, admittedly, your kids go to school, you've instilled that in them. I'm thinking more of, you know, when kids are truant when they skip class for 5, 6, 7 times a year, they're often coming from families where the parents are struggling. They don't maybe even have the tools and resources they need to properly parent, meaning they're not sure how to deal with it. So throwing them in jail, that's not helping. There's
Nope.
there's no way that's gonna
If you
solve the
break up
problem.
families, all you're doing is complicating the problem. It's a system gone amok. And at the end of the day, we can find other ways to discipline children. You know, as a mom, you soon will be a mom, you'll know that all you have to do is find the button and push it. Take away their driver's license. Take away their cell phone. There are other ways to discipline a child that will make a difference.
And I do think we can all agree that it's counterproductive to arrest parents. Using resources, social workers, educators coming together, figuring out what's the problem, how can we solve it. Putting mom and dad in jail, probably not the answer. We'll be right back.
Absolutely. Nobody, you can't, the system cannot be putting the parents in jail. I mean, look, you're going to be sentenced to 30 months in jail. That's not helping out the child. That's not helping the parents. I mean, you put the parents in foster care, the foster system is not going to help out. I mean, they're going to change bus routes with the bus route system. I mean, like we just heard. That's the system doing its job. We have to educate the educators and say, hey, don't be blaming the parents. Take away the driver's license. I mean, one state, I mean, in this case right here, this person, let's see if I can scroll down, find it. Yes, Candy Net. If it happens again, she will lose her driver's license. Let's listen.
Dozens of kids who have been skipping school were in court tonight with their parents.
A lot of people don't realize there's a law against truancy, but there is a law and the consequences can be tough. Here's News 13's Jim Winchester.
And Diane, more than 80 students and their parents were summoned before Valencia County Magistrate Tina Gallegos tonight, and she essentially laid down the law.
So I'm talking to Candy, right?
High school freshman Candy Nip and her mother Teresa are just one of many students and parents facing Magistrate Tina Gallegos.
Tonight's hearing is basically just to inform you as the parent of Candy that we've got a little problem. Okay, this is our first flag. This is our first warning.
If Candy continues to skip school, in a worst case scenario, she could lose her driver's license and her mother could go to jail.
They're not.
Absolutely not. Again, you cannot put the parents in jail.
We need a kick in the butt. We need a kick in the butt.
Sometimes the parents aren't always aware of a child who might skip a class or two, but this is going to bring awareness to that.
When the judge revealed that Candy has had 9 unexcused absences since January 1st, Teresa was surprised. In some of them, Candy really was sick and her mother never notified the school. But Candy admitted the other days she just skipped.
It's pretty much we just don't want to go to class. And it's so easy to ditch at the school, so. Technically, it's the law. You have to go to school.
Tonight was only verbal warnings, but if there's a next time, juvenile probation will be called in. The consequences could be ugly.
I see the problems. I know the problems. I think it's that time.
From now on, what are you going to do?
Go to class. Yeah.
Absolutely. You need to go to class.
And those students and parents that didn't show up as required tonight will automatically be turned over to juvenile probation. Diane, back to you.
All right, Jim. Now, earlier this month, 24 kids skipped school in Los Lunas to take advantage of Denny's free Grand Slam breakfast special, but they were all caught when Denny's turned them in. The Denny's is right next to the high school. Those kids will now face the judge next week.
I mean, should we be giving our kids handcuffs? Absolutely. But not for stupid reasons. I'll talk about that in a later show. But what's the price to pay for skipping school? I'll tell you more about that when we come back. So, for those of you that just joined us, we're talking about truancy here for our Back to School series. It's the #1 issue in this series. Reason why that is because, first of all, let me tell you something, a lot of times, the parents are to be blamed. The parents are blamed for this. I personally think parents should not be blamed. It's the educators who need to be educated. I mean, if the educators are just blaming the parents for not taking the kids to school, it's the kids that should be blamed. We should just put them in the juvenile hall, in juvenile probation. If your kid skips class, we place them in juvenile hall until the parents pick them up, take them back to school, or an administrator. But what is the price that students can? What is the high price students can pay? Well, look at a case from 6 years ago. Listen,
Truancy or intentionally missing school is a problem all over the country. 11 years ago, Texas strengthened laws to crack down on this problem, and these new laws have produced mixed results. The National Center for Youth Law says that more than 113,000 truancy cases are filed in Texas yearly. These cases begin when a school complains that a student is repeatedly missing school, and the case is referred to a truancy court. If you are absent 10 or more days, or at least parts of days, in a 6-month period, you end up here in truancy court. Some parents say this practice is unfair, as it has led to enormous unpayable fines. And if they don't comply with the court-ordered requirements, such as community service, they could end up in jail. I spoke with a parent who believes her son fell through the cracks, and what happened to him is entirely unjust.
If my son would have been 17 and he still would have been 16, then that fine would have been on me, and if I wouldn't have paid the fine, then I would have went to jail. Well, my relative son was 15, and he had a lot of truancies, and her fines got up there. Of course, she wasn't able to pay them. She's a single mom. You know, at least I do have a husband to help me, but she didn't have nobody to help her. So it's either bills or pay this. Well, a warrant went out, and they picked her up.
Critics claim that truancy courts have become an important revenue generator for schools, and that they have not discouraged students from skipping school. Ms. Travado, political science instructor from WT, thinks that the way the program is being run poses serious ethical dilemmas.
We're used to you might be sent to the principal's office, you're now sent to jail. Something's wrong with our society.
Judge Nancy Vasquez says, as the law is written, that students must face fines or community service if found truant in court.
I have to
Absolutely.
follow the laws, okay? I can't just decide on my own that I want to do this or I want to do that. I can only do what the law tells me that I can.
It is likely that critics will continue to push for all sorts of education reform, as Texas's secondary school students are clearly in trouble. 60% of students end up suspended or expelled, and nearly half of those end up in the juvenile justice system.
Absolutely. We don't need to put parents in jail. We need to put kids in the juvenile jail for this. We need to teach them that's not okay to skip class. I mean, the police will be looking for you, and you'll be sent back to school. You're here to. So let me tell you something from experience. You're here to go to school, get your high school diploma, get your education, get your high school diploma, get your education, and we got all your life. But you do things to interrupt that process. This is one of them. I don't care if Denny's is right next to it. I don't care if you don't like the school lunch. I don't care if there's a taco stand or Domino's. I don't care. You are required by law to go to school. If you don't, you and your parents will be facing truancy court, like we talk about a lot.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Yeah.
Here's a clip from Alex Sherman.
But these kids are in serious trouble. Judge Jean Muir is hearing 36 cases of kids cutting class.
If you lie to me, I'm going to put you under oath. If you lie to me, it's called contempt. Contempt means I can lock you up.
In this case, the judge suspects the student has more problems than skipping school. The judge orders a
You have a Fifth Amendment. In America, they don't call you in and go, answer my questions or I'm going to lock you up.
I mean, schools, when you walk into school, there's constitutional rights, yes, but they limit constitutional rights. I mean, you have a Fifth Amendment, yes.
Now, these children, we looked at the cases, what they do in there. If you're late 3 times, that's considered truancy. Not under the law, but under...
If you're late 3 times, late 3 times, it's not truancy, that's tardy. If you're tardy a lot, absences, that's the reason for truancy court, not tardy. You tardy the class, that's a lot of absences.
This kangaroo court, notice they said, very serious court. You know, the judge wanted to know that. This is it's not a court. They're just in there getting people into the system. They're not your friend.
Alright. I've had enough of this shit shenanigans. I mean, respect.
face stiffer sentences, like time in a detention center or fines. Yolanda Hawkins,
Yeah, that's what America's all about now, is learning how to be in a detention center, learning how to swipe your ID card, be given your tattletale card, with $250 cash bonuses for turning parents in. We have the local newscast of that. Report your parents, $250. Look at this. We have time to play that. This is hell on earth, and it makes me very angry. If it spills over to others, I'm sorry.
And it makes me very angry to blame parents for this shit. We don't need to, again, we don't need to blame parents for this crap. We need to blame the kids. Parents, tell your children that truancy is wrong. Skipping class is wrong. The best place for your children to be is in school. We're back in a moment. Our back to school series continues on Wednesday with more school topics, because it is back to school time. And one of the latest topics we're talking about is high school fights for this back to school week. I mean, this is our third season of the show, and we're still going to our back to school series. I created a show, and we're in 3 years of this. This is season 2 of our back to school series. More can be done about this. Plus, what are the recommendations? What is the choice for your child for this situation if they want to go to school? Homeschool or public school? That's the choice, and that's on Wednesday. The story coming up on Wednesday. And that's all for this edition to Give Me a Break Monday. We'll see you again at Give Me a Break Wednesday at our same time. Have a great night, everyone.